Hello there and welcome to the Britshaver shaving channel. It's been a while since there's been a video and I've been shaving quite regularly while you've been away, and had time to cogitate about why I should or shouldn't do videos and what have you. And the main reason that I wasn't making any videos, or I didn't make any videos, was the fact that I was in a shaving forum on Facebook, and my attitude towards life is expect the worst and the best can happen. And that's just the way I look at things. Generally speaking, good things do happen, but I quite often expect the worst to happen, and I'm always quite pleasantly surprised when it doesn't. So they don't really like that on that shaving forum, and so I got thrown out and I got a bit upset, which is why I haven't really been doing any videos. So here is a shave. It's as you can see, we definitely need a shave here in the Britshaver shaving channel, and I'm going to be using a razor blade, Wilkinson sword one, which has been used twice. So this will be the third shave. I have an emergency blade on standby just in case it's so blunt I can't use it, and I'm going to be using my favourite razor, which is the Giesen Forsthoff razor blade, sometimes known as Timor, which always confuses me, because I'm sure that Timor is an African country, so I'm not quite sure why they called it Timor. Anyway, so there goes the blade. Might be a chappie called Mr. Timor, works at Giesen Forsthoff. I really don't know. But, interesting anyway. So, going to be using my Men U shaving brush for confused Austrians, and it hasn't been soaking, so we're just going to give it a little bit of a dab in the sink. There's a reasonable amount of quite hot water in there. And that's all there is to it, not much to it. Okay, and I'm going to be using my Real Shaving Co. Traditional shave cream, which I bought quite a long time ago. I try and use it on a regular basis. I find it really, really good to use. Nothing special, nothing magical, but a really good shave I find that I get with this stuff. And as I paid £3 for it in the sale, I can't really complain. So let's just squidge a little bit in there. Nothing like a good squidge on a Sunday, which is what today is for me. And there is a little squidge in the bottom there. And a little bit of water in there already. I don't know whether you can see. This is my Turkish shaving bowl, which is copper, and as you can see now, it's got this verdigris all over the outside of it. I did consider scrubbing it off with wire wool, but I quite like it really. It was bright copper colour when I first got it. Just gradually been getting the patina and the verdigris all over it. It's quite nice. The inside is coated with tin, so it's likely to stay bright for a little while yet. Anyway, so let's make some lather. A little bit of metallurgy there for the Britshaver shaving channel. And does your shaving regime change very much over time? I'd be interested to know. Or do you always stick to the same thing at the same time on the same day? I am very variable. I tend to shave whenever I feel like it. If it gets a little bit too much for me, my beard, then I might have a shave, or I might get really lazy and not have a shave and turn into a fisherman or a bird watcher. All the ornithologist types, they all have beards, don't they? Why is that? It's not really a very good disguise against a bird, is it? But there you are. I blame Bill Oddie myself. Bill, if you're watching, it's about time you had a shave, mate, although nobody would recognise you, would they, really? So, let's see, how are we getting on? Does that sound an interesting noise? I've been looking into getting an external microphone for my phone, but honestly, the one that I came across was £45, and I thought, I can spend 45 quid on shaving gear and be happier. And I think the volume's all right, isn't it? I've never had any complaints about the volume on this channel, so I'm not going to do anything. So closed head on this one, as you may remember, it comes with two heads. I prefer the closed one rather than the open one. The handle is really lovely on this, nice and grippy now after a few weeks, couple of months of using it on a regular basis. I give it a good wipe off at the end, and every month or so put a little bit of vegetable oil on it in hope that it won't crack in 10 years time. But I love it. It's really my best razor. So wet my face. Now, one of the things that I have discovered while I've been shaving without being videoing is if I don't video and I don't chat, the shave is twice as fast. So it's obviously not talking, it doesn't take any length of time at all. But as I stop and talk, it's a much longer process. I'll get down to about 8 or 9 minutes if I'm not chatting. Particularly if I start my shave and the missus wants to use the bathroom, I tend to be a lot quicker then. I don't know whether you can hear the shaving brush. I quite like the firmer brushes. I quite enjoy my Badger shaving brush. Most shaving brushes have got something about them that I like. I haven't used one that I really dislike yet. Apart from the very, very cheap Italian one that I bought from a supermarket in Italy, which was like €3, and all the bristles keep falling out all the time. That's the only one I really don't like, and it's quite long, so when you use it, it's a bit like painting a wall. Anyway, so let's see how this blade gets on. Give it a dip in the hot water, and oh look, he's shaving against the grain the first stroke. That's not a really good thing to do. I just want to see how sharp the blade is, really. And you know me, I like to break the rules. And if you don't, I do like to break the rules. Now that lather isn't very thick, however, it's a good lubricating lather. I'm not getting any sense of the razor being too sharp or dragging or anything like that. One thing that I have learned is when I'm chatting I tend to be a bit careless, so I tend to end up with more nicks when I'm chatting than when I'm not. Quite honestly, I think when I look at other people shaving, I think, well, I do it slightly differently to the way that you do it. And you only really learn that over time, I think. Okay, time for some more shaving cream, I think. It was a bit thin the last one, but it seemed to do the job. Now, I don't have any children, as you may remember. I don't have any kids, so I've got nobody to teach shaving. There's a bristle come out of my brush. Shocking. So I wonder whether you've taught any of your kids to shave, whether you're a woman or a man, whether you've shown them how to use a double-edged razor or even a safety razor. I'd be interested to hear about that. And was it a good process? Did you enjoy bonding, or was it a bit fraught, like teaching your son or daughter to drive? Because I can remember when my father was alive, he taught me to drive, and all I could think all the time was, if I run somebody over and kill them while he's teaching me, that'll be it. He'll never talk to me again, let alone the person that I killed. That's all I can remember about being taught to drive. It was frightening, with him barking instructions to me. I'm sure he wasn't. That's just the way it felt at the time. And it's such a long time ago now. It's funny the things that we remember. Also been having trouble with my computer. It keeps turning itself off in the middle of me doing things. I've got an iMac and I really must take it in to be sorted out. I've still got one of these extended warranties on it. It's about 3 years old, so it definitely shouldn't be doing it. And I've already taken my computer in once to be looked at, and they couldn't find a fault, even though a couple of weeks after I brought it back, it started cutting out for no apparent reason. So we're going to take it back another time, and if they can't find a fault with it, then I don't know. I really don't know what to do with it now. I'm at my wit's end. I've made a log of 2 days of use out of it packing up and starting up, and have to unplug it. If it goes to sleep while I'm using my computer, you can't turn it back on again. It won't wake up from sleep. Really, really irritating, and it really started doing it on July the 4th. I remember it really clearly because it's American Independence Day, and the blessed thing gave me a little software update, and then for several days afterwards, and ever since, it's given me problems. Now I've reformatted the iMac from scratch. I've started again. I put a whole new operating system on it. Gradually introduced software into it. It just does it regardless, really. So hopefully next time I take it in, they'll be able to find the fault and either repair it or replace it. Because quite frankly, I can't really use it on an ongoing basis. Now, shaving wise, I think considering this is the third shave with this Wilkinson saw blade, it's doing pretty well. And notice that my lather on this side of the face seems to have got very thin. To me, I don't think I lathered it properly. I was too keen to have a shave and get on with it. And now it feels a bit thick, but you can't win every time, can you? There seems to be a whole raft of people advertising discounts at this time of year for shaving gear and what have you. I can only assume that as the weather gets cooler, people are less keen to shave more frequently. It's definitely autumn here in Margate. So it's definitely cooling down. We've got a bright few days, so I'm not going to be going sunbathing, but it's nice to have a bit of sunshine and maybe have the possibility of sitting out in the back garden a few early evenings or even during the day over the weekend. Okay, let's see, let's have a bit of a rinse off. It's not too bad, as per usual. A little bit more on this side needs to be done. Not that you can tell, but I can. I think it's just because there's less light on this side of my face in the bathroom. I have two windows, one behind me and one on that side there. So all the light is behind me and on this side. Okay, well that's not too bad. Let's have a wipe off. A towel down. Not bad at all. Quite enjoyed that. Quick recap. That was the Real Shaving Co. Traditional shave cream. A third shave Wilkinson saw blade. My menu bristle shaving brush. My Turkish shaving bowl. And of course the wonderful Timor Giesen Forsthoff razor blade with the walnut handle, which I just love. Anyway, so we're gonna have a clean up. Hope you enjoyed that shave, and we'll see you again in the not too distant future. In the meantime, do take care, or even take care. Bye for now.